This tutorial will take you through the inventory options within Invitbox. As well as exporting all of your line-by-line product information and data to accountancy softwares, Invitbox can also send all of this information to external inventory or point-of-sale systems. We do this free of charge. There is no additional export, so you can actually avail of a double data entry saving for free on the additional export. Now, if I go to the Admin tab, to set up the inventory, you'll notice you have an option, Inventory Point of Sale Settings. And it asks you, do you use an inventory system? To which you would select yes. And then you'll notice that there's a number of preset inventory export systems already here. However, as a rule of thumb, if your inventory system can accept an import of a CSV format, we should be able to send this information to that said system. You can select Other, and then what you can do is actually define your export mapping. So you simply need to find out for your inventory system what is the actual import format, and then quite simply you actually yourself can create this export format and you can save this. Okay. So obviously you need to investigate your individual system to work this out and set that up. Now once you've done that and set up the export format so it's ready to format automatically into the correct format for your system, you can then go to the in tray. Now, it's mainly the approver's job to move inventory items to the Inventory tab ready for export. The reason for this is that the approver, in businesses which run stock systems, it's usually the approver that would have the job of entering the stock into the system. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to reset this. I'll get rid of those. So what you see, I've just actually removed these from the Inventory tab. I'll show you how to do that again in a moment. So from the in tray, we've got Soft Drinks Company. So this is a line item invoice. So it's important to note, if you do want to send products to inventory, the information stripped out has to be a line item invoice. That means it will pull out the description, the product code, the quantity and unit price. And this is information that is needed to send to the inventory system so that it can update its stock level. So as an approver, before I would want to approve this stock, what I might do is throughout the day I would receive my deliveries, for example, and I would sign for them, and I would gather my delivery slips up throughout the day. Now once it comes to the end of the day, I would log into Invitbox, for example, and then I would simply go through one by one with my delivery slips and match those off against the invoices in the in tray. So in this example for Soft Drinks Company, as long as the invoice is correct and the goods were received, what I would then do is I would click Add to Inventory. And from the inventory perspective, that is now complete. That will move through to this Inventory tab. As you can see, we've got Soft Drinks Company and we've got our products ready to export. Now, there's a couple of things you may need to do here. So 2 litre vanilla soda times 12, so it's a case of 12, and that's the product code. And quantity is 15 of them, so we have 15 cases of 12. Now what you'll notice here is we've got a little widget where we need to teach the system. For this product code, VAN-2, is this a case or is this a unit? So in this scenario, this product code relates to a case of 12. So we're saying it's a case of 12, and then the system knows that there's 15 of them, 15 cases of 12, there's 180 units. So it will send 180 units to this said inventory system. You'll notice if I click on this one, which is a case of 6, big old pack quantity 6, and it calculates 6 times 8 is 48. Now what we will send as a default, if this option POS, this pause code, is left blank, we will send the product code from the supplier to the inventory system. So again, this depends on which system you run, but if your inventory system can identify the supplier code and it can link them to an existing different product code within the system, or if your system actually uses the supplier code, that's great, you just leave this blank. Now in the scenario where your point of sale system cannot identify different codes, what you may want to do here is put the actual point of sale, your inventory system's code in, so that when we do an export, if I was to save that, I would export this particular product as point of sale code 1234. Whenever that export was imported to your inventory system, it would recognize 1234 as product 1.25 litre water, and it would be told and import 48 units of that particular code. That needs done one time only. So once I've set that now for WSP-125, that is now stored and will not need to be done again for that product. Now from the Inventory tab, if you're happy to export everything, you can just click Export. You can delete if you don't want to send some certain products for any reason. You can just unhighlight them. If you don't want to send a whole invoice, you can just deselect the invoice. Always remembering to save your changes. But once you're happy to go ahead with export, click the button. It creates the export file. As I mentioned, you can have multiple suppliers for most inventory systems. However, that does depend on your particular system. So I would advise, if you have any questions, to please contact our support team, and we'll happily go through the individual system with you and talk through the options.